Hi, it's PJ Patterson, the chairman of the IFBF. I'm here with Peter White, who's just given a presentation at our April meeting, and I thought I'd ask Pete a couple of questions about some of the topics that he covered in his report. So first of all, Pete, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Pete.
You mentioned the Sedgwick report. Can you just recap very quickly what you think the impact is going to be on our industry of the Sedgwick report?
Yeah, certainly. So with the Sedgwick report, I think we've got to be cautious of what the impact may be, and I don't think that it should have necessarily a wide range of impacts on brokers as far as other impacts that have already been agreed to. So there's an overlap in the Sedgwick report into the ASIC's actual report, so there's some commonalities in there. We did our global research paper. We actually highlighted certain things that overlap as well at the beginning of the year when we did that. There's a couple of points where they talk about fee and remuneration models. And the biggest concern with the report, and with no disrespect to Mr. Sedgwick, he's a retired career public servant. He has no professional qualifications to make the recommendations. There's nothing wrong with the report and the data research, but the recommendations that are being made would potentially have a profound impact, or the possibility of a profound impact on our industry. And that needs to be made by an educated, well-understood person within, or not within our industry, but somebody who understands our industry. But the secondary effect of the Sedgwick report is it's actually having an influence on market. And the banks, not even inside of 24 hours, jumped all over and said, we're going to implement everything that's said in the 21 recommendations. Well, hold on, there's been no discussion on this. It's only just been released, so how do you even know they're the right things to implement? You don't. So this is almost trying to railroad a process, and that's my big concern that I mentioned in the Senate inquiry on Wednesday, is that due process that has already begun is not being afforded to play out. This has been a means to try and manipulate the circumstances of the process that we're under for some other means, and it's obviously not for the benefit of us. So that can't be allowed to happen. Due process must be allowed to complete as it has already begun, and they shouldn't be trying to manipulate the process on the way through.
Agreed. Now, let's say the banks or any lenders for that matter really push hard with the Sedgwick reforms and do adopt that. What could brokers do to perhaps get in front of that and try to influence that?
Hard to get in front of. What we're trying to do is to stop it now, let the process go through, because the decision of ASIC's report, which is what gets referred back to really in principle and everything, the end decision of that is going to be made by politicians, not by Treasury, not by ASIC, not by Sedgwick. And that needs to be allowed to happen. So it's hard for brokers to get in front of it, but most certainly engage with your industry body. Anyone, whether they're members or not, are welcome to email me, and I'm getting emails daily on this. We're engaging very closely with our key stakeholders. We're formulating a very clear and succinct strategic message to go back to Treasury by the end of June. And the best thing that the mainstream brokers do is to get in touch with us and air your points and give us your viewpoints, and we'll add those and take those on board with the comments that we're doing and the paper that we're positioning. It's very difficult for the individual broker to have their voice heard at a government level with this, because you've got to make sure you get to the right person. And what happens with government, there are gatekeepers all the way. You may think you're emailing a minister, you're not. You're emailing somebody in the office, even though it's got the minister's name on it. They have private email addresses.
So to get to the minister's
so
office.
So if you want your message to be heard, come together. And then if we need to do something on a larger collective basis, we'll rally.
Great. Would it be useful for example, the IFBF as a forum to maybe do a letter writing campaign or something, or ask our members and brokers to submit a letter, a form letter, if you will, to the Senate or to our local parliamentary member? Would something like that help? Just curious.
Local parliamentary members, no.
Okay.
Because how the local parliament, how local members operate is they're all about getting votes in the electorate. So unless you get bombarded with 1,000 letters as a member in a local area, it goes nowhere for them, so it doesn't get a vote. So that's really what they're focused on, brutal reality.
Okay.
At a higher level, it needs to be strategically done, and I would encourage IFBF and all its members, again, to come as a collective, say behind FBAA or wherever, and we go, if there's a voice to be said, over and above what we're doing, to go down that journey. Again, it's one of these things you've got to hit the nail on the head in the right place, and if you miss it, it tends to deflect. And we've also got to be very conscious that we come with the right message. And you can't go in these sort of process saying, you're all wrong, this isn't fair, you shouldn't do anything. because they'll turn around and say, what have you got to hide?
Exactly.
So we're going to do a lot more. So these things have to be very carefully placed together strategically to ensure there's some giveaways that are fair and reasonable and transparent, together with trying to ensure that you embellish the key of what you want to hold without it being deteriorated too far. And no disrespect to anyone, it's a science. We even have an independent expert professional writer that sits behind us to make sure these things are 100% on the money. And because I couldn't write it, I can assure you.
Awesome. Well, look, I was going to ask you another question, but we've kind of gone on. I know you have some places to be, but I want to thank Peter White for joining us today at the IFBF, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, PJ.
Cheers.